Some kind of weird death game where it's in a moving tin can of death you can't get out of. Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we are back with another reaction to Alice in Borderland. We're now in season 3, episode 3. So the last episode, we were thrown right back into the game world. Arisu has made his way back. The first game was crazy, but he did manage to figure it out and save everybody, thankfully, at least who was left. And from there, he got to know the stories of a few people there, and we kind of found out that commonality that almost everyone shares that's in this world is that they at some point lost their lives, if even for a few minutes. And so they also found out that they were all winners of their respective games as far as the face cards, wherever they were. So this is kind of a tournament of all tournaments. And as such, he's kind of figured out that there is a chance that it could come down to himself going up against Usagi, and that, you know, both of them are not going to make it out of this world, even though, you know, that's very much what they want. So that was kind of the biggest realizations we came to the last game, the last episode, I should say. There was no Usagi wasn't in it at all. And we were in the middle of a second game, which is a zombie card game. And we see that basically there was a plan to keep things civil, but unfortunately, we all know that in this game, that's not possible. So things are starting to get a little bit crazy. People are starting to die. And it looks like Arisu is trying to figure out the best way for him to get out of this alive and potentially protect the people that he's become close to. So that's where we were. Let's jump into the episode. Before I do though, please hit that subscribe button and notification bell if you'd like to know when I drop episodes. All right, they're out of the way. Let's get into the episode right now. Why are you holding your pocket all weird? And if I am? Ooh, he's like, quickly. That wasn't part of the rules. Yeah. Since y'all are so keen on it, why don't y'all do it? I think you do, actually. You're looking like you're getting off on it. Not on purpose. It's always been a matter of survival. He's not wrong about that. The games are set up that way. Why are y'all holding him down? He's literally on the ground already. Losers. And besides, why not let Mr. Tats there? He's not afraid to kill people. They could have put a screen up between, like, why do I have to have blood spatter on me? Like, this is not hygienic, game. I know you don't expect a lot of people to survive, but we shouldn't just have people's blood randomly splattering into other people's faces. Just saying. I'm so sorry, honey. Oh, thank God we're down to single digits. If you yell at me again, kick him in the balls. I'm so dead ass. Why are we all listening to this ass hat? I'm not listening to him. Is that the kid? I'm worried for him though. I think he snapped. The way he's just kind of passive right now is not, it's not reading right. He was so perky before. You're right. Yeah, the kid. Yeah, he left because you know you asses were gonna kill him. Oh, well, the trust circle's broken. That only took 5 minutes. There's 3 rounds left. Exactly. Do you ever think that maybe this was her plan all along? Although I think she's just an agent of chaos, but... Questions we should have asked about an hour ago, huh? Yeah, not such a smart ass anymore. There's not enough rounds to take them all out, though. But the game doesn't say it's the only way to take them out. As always, there's always those hidden rules. Smart man, fight for your life. Don't just walk to the slaughter if you don't have to. Don't tell him to stand up. Do it, you big strong men. Once again, bro, standing by watching messed up stuff happen. What is your plan, Arisu? You know he's a zombie. At least I think he suspects. Okay, good. I'm like, if I know my man, he already figured it out. Yeah, you're acting real weird.
君たちが思ってる以上にゾンビは広がってると思うよ。
Yeah, you have no idea what the numbers are now.
そんなことなんでわかる？
How would she not know? You don't know.
感染がもし順当に指数関数的に行われたとすれば
Could be up to half by now.
俺が信じると思うか？
信じるも信じないも
Right? She's like, it's up to you, bro, but you haven't been doing the math. You've been too busy walking around like big cock on the walk. That's assuming she's a zombie. She knows you got a shotgun card, bro.
残念だけど、その取引には乗れないな。
She didn't put a zombie card down. Yeah, you can't outrun it, bro. I'm sorry. Breathe. 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 Tranquilo.
これで勝利だ。
You have no idea. Not everyone's here. What happened to you? Why do you look pissed?
どうした？
She wasn't a zombie, was she?
騙された。
Yep. You're such a dumbass. When I was thinking about the episode yesterday, I noticed that Ray never showed her cards to anyone. She didn't show them for certain that she had a vaccine card or a zombie card. I didn't think she was shot. She's not a zombie.
生きてたか。
Should you be smiling?
なんで私と対戦を
To find out what's actually going on in your
こ
deck?
のゲーム結局どっちが勝つと思う？
Indeed. If she'll tell the truth.
誰もお前をワクチンで救おうとしなければ、恩があるから必ず救ってくれると。
No.
お前ほどの戦略家が
Exactly.
嘘から信頼のバリケードが作られた。
Withholding the truth.
さっき池野がショットを出したんじゃないの
Of
か？
course he did.
でもお前
Swinging
は
his
知ら
dick
なかった。
everywhere.
君はなんで私と対戦しに来たの
Because I have a counter proposal. Zombie.
Zombie.
We're turning the game around. Underdogs for the win.
君みたいな人でも嘘とかつく
You know
んだ
nothing about me. Exactly. I love it.
人間の非常さが勝つかもってちょっと思い出しちゃってさ
Yep.
君はいつからゾンビだったの
Like 5 minutes.
最初から。
やるじゃん
That's hot, Arisu. That's hot. That makes sense, though. Arisu's gotten very good at monitoring his group before he makes a move. Oh, Tetsu's... He's not doing so good. That's not gonna last you the whole game, bro. Oh, he's trying so hard not to take it. But we have to draw as a bitch. Okay, sis! Yes! Too far. Yeah, I knew it was too far.
あんたはもうショットを持ってない。対戦だ。
Exactly. You didn't think that through, did you, bitch? Serves you right. You should leave him alone. Welcome to the club, friend. Oh, stop
これで
crying.
和也さん、
I actually saved your life, you ungrateful hoe.
助かったんだよ。
Yeah.
この時点で
Let's hope your numbers are right, Arisu. They're rarely not.
32人人間13人ゾンビの勝ちです
Good job! Sorry to the zombies that had to die, though. Yeah, bitch. That's what you get. Thought you were the cock on the walk.
マジか。
Yeah, Magica. Was it worth it to come back to the games? Ray hanging back? That's what I thought. She's not a joiner, huh?
一緒に行こうよ
You got a welcome. Well, maybe not from this guy. Come on, friends. Okay. We can use your brain, Ray. That my boy Arisu doesn't have to do all the heavy lifting with all the thinking. Where's the next game? 100 kilometers away? Well, the good side, everyone's going to lose at least 50 pounds walking to all these damn game locations should you make it.
悪く思うなよ。
That's what you have to say? Guess it's the closest thing to an apology you're going to get from Mr. Tough Guy.
どうもです姉さんじゃないから
I think we're all sisters and brothers in this experience, no?
うちの旦那なんかすぐに怒鳴るし、
I'm sorry, ma'am.
一途に人を思ってみたいものね。
It is nice to have someone who genuinely loves you enough not to hurt you intentionally. My poor boy is trying to figure out how the hell to find his wife in this chaos. Are we going to come back down to... We have not seen her in a whole episode now. Usagi, is this you, girl? Okay. She's still alive. But she's got unresolved trauma. It'll get you sometimes.
ごめん、お父さん。
Oh, we didn't hear the Otosan part.
はっきりと感じられるんです。
But yeah, whatever happened with her dad left a deep cut. And she hasn't really moved past it.
身を置きたいんです。
Damn. I'm just saying, that's her, like, she could have at least said goodbye to Arisu, you know? Like, I know we married and stuff, but I prefer to be with my dad, who abandoned me for the last decade. How are you with this bitch? Maybe I shouldn't say that. I don't know his whole deal yet. But he's definitely giving villain vibes. Are those lasers? What the actual... Those are lasers. Yeah, I don't have the agility for that. Yeah, it's over for me. Wow, this was not the game for you, bro. But you're doing all right, though. You're doing all right. He said, get off my chair. Yes, get off, bro. How you gonna hold me? Oh, way. Didn't I tell you? Villain vibes. Yeah, you got in the game with the wrong person here, girl. Arisu is the one with morals, not this guy. But also, I'm not even going to judge him too hard because he's got a serious disadvantage here. Well, not really, because the wheels are faster than... Well, I spoke too soon. I was going to say they're faster than legs, but... Ma'am, you're pregnant. Please be careful. Hands off. She's married. Sir, use that upper body that you work out all the time, please. Thank you. You probably have 50 pounds on her, at least. There's got to be a pattern to these. Maybe by color? Now, see, if Arisu were here, he would have figured it out. Arisu seems to be getting all the more psychological and mental games, if you notice that. And then you got Usagi, who we don't know what she's done outside of this game, but to her strength, physical. Yep. Yeah. Maybe we could have kept that as an inner dialogue. Yeah. She does, sadly. I guess. That's unhealed trauma. And abandoned your husband. I'm glad. Enjoy. You know, if you want to die, sir, that's very simple here. You didn't have to drag her into it, but you know what? She made a choice. They're similar in that they're both locked in trauma, but they're not the same in that I know she didn't genuinely want to hurt Arisu. Drag her into it. What is it about Arisu? Because it wasn't for her. It was for Arisu. Yes, because I'm craven. Sure, I'll tell you whatever you need to hear, bro. Didn't I say villain vibes? I was gonna say if he'd known she was pregnant, but I don't even think they would care. Whoever these game masters are really don't give a damn about these people, so ain't gonna care about the future generations. Of course you will. I don't even know why you acted like it was a question. It's like asking Satan if he's the devil. Come on, he already knows. Yep, the businessman. What is your deal? Why do you have such a hard on for Arisu? Is he the Joker now? Yep, he's a little puppet. But why Arisu? I just don't understand what his hard on is for him. Y'all got to stay in this world. Like, he didn't do anything to you. I don't want to take it. Some kind of weird death game where it's in a moving tin can of death you can't get out of. Why is it so dark in there? Why can't I see inside? No, no, no. No, not doing it. We're not boarding. It's a no. I just had a horrid thought. If that demon in a wheelchair ends up raising Arisu's baby, I'm going to be pissed. Of course it is. Of course it is. I guess you got to figure some ish out. Otherwise, it's going to go like at top speed and hit a solid wall or over a cliff. Oh, you don't know which one though. You just don't know which one. So it's a gamble. You have no idea. So you have 8 cars, 5 chances. Okay. So you got to decide whether or not beforehand, because you don't know if it's going to be gas or air. And if you pick wrong without your mask on, you have 5 chances to neutralize the gas. Not the canary in the mine. That's a red herring. I don't trust them at all. It's probably not even a real canary. They used to use that back in the day. Very cruel, but effective. Wait, you don't even know. It could be oxygen. Watch the bird. Watch the bird. Ma'am, maybe you don't hyperventilate. That's what I thought. It was oxygen. You just wasted a cartridge. Exactly. So you don't have, that was your one and only chance to screw up. How long was that? Someone should have timed it because some of you could probably hold your breath. Ah, okay. So each cartridge will tell you, but you're not going to know until you still have to make your choice before they release. Okay. Bet you it's going to be another oxygen car. Just to make sure y'all have to really make Sophie's choice when it comes down to your cartridges for the rest. Okay, it was gas. Okay, at least they didn't make you waste one. I feel like the last 2 cars at least are going to be gas. Yeah, the whole game is rolling the dice, bro. Okay. But she's got a point, though. Everyone should make the decision that they think is right for them. Do what you want to do, sir. Groupthink. It's crazy how strong that is. You can hold your breath. See, I told you this guy was crazy. Did you not see that this man was really ready to die? Like, Usagi, I need you to just please get in your right head, ma'am. Okay, train master. So what does this mean? Well, now you know what happens when it's gas. You're turned on, aren't you, you weirdo? Okay. Oh, you're not a real train master then. Fine. Loser. You know who would know. Arisu. I'm kidding. Please speak quickly. It's a theory. What else? No one's gonna know for sure, bro. Other than that, you're guessing. No, seriously, the negative Nellies need to go. Oh, you're sure? You're not sure? It's most likely. Yeah, it's a guess. They seem fine. Bird? I'm sorry, bro. It just took a minute. Right? It's like, why are you running towards me, bro? I can't save you. Get off of me. Get off. Get off. Get off. The rule said you can't take someone's mask after. Only 3 to go. And you have 2 cartridges left. No room for error. I feel like if you can hold your breath, it can make a difference. But I guess they make sure that it's in there long enough that it'd be fairly impossible for most humans to hold their breath the entire time. Bro, you got through 2 cars. You saved them through 2 cars, so that's more than... It worked! It worked! You're still here! You should bet on Sagi because the Joker, who I'm assuming it is now, the serial killer is probably the Joker. He doesn't want Usagi dead yet. He definitely wants this to get down to Arisu. And Arisu will not be any good to anyone if he finds out his wife is gone. We saw what happened in season 1. He will absolutely shut down for at least a day or 2. Not y'all wishing for poison gas. Where are we? What is happening in our lives right now? Damn. Well, we're about to lose a good chunk of you in the next car. It's not your fault, Usagi. It was going way too well for y'all. They definitely made sure that that was not going to be that easy. All right, guys. Well, that was episode 3. And yes, the intrigue is continuing. We finished up the game with Arisu. And it turns out, yeah, my man is just made for this, right? Like literally, I think I said back in episode 1 that as twisted and dark and horrible as these games are, Arisu comes alive in them. Like this is literally his wheelhouse. Like, you know, it sucks that people die. It sucks that he lost his friends. You know, he's not happy about any of that. And he doesn't necessarily want to be in a world where his life is in danger all the time. But at the same time, Arisu's brain seems to work best under extreme pressure. And I said, like in his old life, he was depressed. He was just completely like, he wasn't doing anything, right? He was waking up, playing video games and going to bed, right? Which is fine for a short amount of time, but in the long term, it starts to rot you from the inside out. And that's where he was in his life before season 1. But once these games kind of kicked in, and of course, after he got through his trauma of losing his friend, he really locked in and he's really good at these games. Like it's really him and Chisaya, I think his name was, who is my favorite character other than Arisu, which I don't know, I guess he's not in this season. But anyway, they were really the 2 people that were like super locked in for this game. Like they're just so good at looking at the different angles and being able to figure out different ways and probabilities of these games. And like I said, it's things that I think, even though Arisu doesn't necessarily show the kind of like glee that you see in some of the other gamers, he does enjoy it. He enjoys the game part of it. He doesn't enjoy the death. And that's why he's never trying to like get people killed. He's never, you know, trying to go out of his way to see more people die than necessary. But he does like the idea of the games, whether he knows that or not. But anyway, we see that in the end, he did some calculations in his head. And unlike, I think, a lot of the other people who'd been in the games before, whether it's that they didn't remember or because their scenarios were different, Arisu figured out that, I think very early on, that as Ray said, human cruelty was going to win out from the get-go. He knew this, right? He went through in season 1 and season 2, he saw people just slide into the absolute basest form of themselves, completely throw away all sense of moral code and judgment for the sake of these games. And so I think he figured out very quickly that this game, like the way it was being played, that there was no way that an honor system was going to work. At some point, people were going to kill, right? And so it looks like he started out the game as a zombie and he had to figure things out. But I think he did. Well, the thing is, I think him and Ray had a very similar idea as far as how to tackle the game. The difference is that Ray kind of proposed something and threw something into the mix, whereas Arisu was really just standing back and observing. Right? Which both Ray and him had very good ideas of how to navigate the game, just different approaches. But either way, it just shows again that Arisu he's built for this, right? He said, I gotta observe. I need to see how this group acts. I need to see how they respond to zombies versus the humans. Who's scared? Who's gonna become like he's seen these dynamics 100 times already. He knew inevitably that somebody was gonna emerge to be either the leader or the bully or both, and that there were gonna be people who were gonna be the worms who were gonna follow them, and then there were going to be, you know, the majority who are just going to go with whatever's happening. And then there was going to be the people who would be open to actually like doing something to save as many lives as possible. And he needed a few rounds to figure out who those people were. And once he did, he knew what plan he had to execute. But he had to be careful about it, right? He had to be very quiet. He had to choose extraordinarily carefully who he trusted. especially once Ray proposed her idea. But I think once Ray proposed her idea, he figured out that it would work with what he was trying to do, because the circle of trust would at least give him time to figure out where the other zombies were and to be able to get the message to the people who were not part of the larger group, right? So anyway, all that to say, once again, Arisu's that guy, right? He is him. And that is why they survived. Thankfully, he was able to save as many people as he wanted to. Could he have saved Ekino? Yes. Did he really want to? You know? I mean, he probably would have, because the nice thing about Arisu is that he really isn't, he's got enough moral high ground that like he would have tried to save someone like Ekino just because he didn't like him. Like, he wouldn't let his dislike of him stop him from doing it. However, in this particular case, it didn't make sense because Ekino was, you know, he was getting other people shot when it wasn't necessary. You get my point. So I believe what Arisu's ultimate goal would have been if everybody had cooperated, he would have loved it if he could have turned everybody into zombies. Because if that's still, if I understand the rules correctly, they would have all won, right? If everyone's a zombie, there's no humans, right? The lesser group, which is 0, they die, but no one dies. But he knew that was probably not going to happen. So he did his best to save the people that he knew he could work with. And Ekino made it very clear that he would be impossible to work with. So, you know, in the end, he's gone. But the other guy, the guy with the tats, saved by the bell and by the kid that he was going to sacrifice. That was crazy. But anyways, thankfully, we see that kid does not, like he said, I'm not holding it against you. I get it. This game kind of makes you do. And again, I don't think the guy with the tats was doing it out of like the same kind of reasoning that Ekino was. But, you know, it's still a bit like, I need my guy to side eye him going forward, though. But this is the way he was before. I'm pretty sure it's the same guy from last season. He was very much that guy. Like, there was like one person he wanted to protect and everybody else could go to hell. So not much has changed. But anyways, that was pretty much the end of Arisu's game. He saved, like I said, as many people as he could, but understandably, he's still on the mission to find his wife and no closer to it. He has no idea where she is. And I'm sure he's starting to understand that with every game they play, that the chances of him finding her are getting lesser and lesser. But also, I think what's weighing on his mind is, of course, what he found out, not this episode, but the one prior, which is that what happens if I have to go up against her? Right? If I know Arisu right now, he's trying to work out that Rubik's Cube in the back of his head right now. So that was him. We finally got to see Usagi. We have not seen her since episode 1, and she is still with the Rolling Demon. And I'm calling him that just because there's something about him is irking me at the moment. We'll see. You know, I'm gonna give him grace. He's got a few more episodes to see a little bit more, but right now it's just a little too nihilistic. I really don't give a damn about anything but what I want. I'm not a fan of it, is my point. And the thing is, Usagi is a saver, right? She's someone who really tries to save people. She's got a big heart. That's why her and Arisu are such a great match, because they both have big hearts and they care about the people they care about, even when they don't deserve it. And this man does not deserve it. Like, he's trying to go to the afterlife. Like, he's really like, please, I want to die so bad. But it's like, she's not that person, right? She doesn't want to see other people die if she can do something about it. And he does not care about her like that. But we did hear the guy, the murderer, who I'm starting to think is the Joker, but maybe not. It could be it could be the business dude. I'm not sure yet. They could be doing the red herring thing. But if we go with the obvious type of storytelling they're giving us, it looks like the bowl cut murderer is the one who's the Joker, right? Because we all know from last season that the face card players were people who were in the game who decided to become face card players. So I could totally see the bowl cut murderer becoming the Joker. But digressing, he said, we see now that he set the whole plan in motion to get Usagi and, more importantly, Arisu back into this world, right? He said, like, the thing is, if he'd gone directly to a thing, and it's weird that he didn't go, it's strange, actually, never mind. I was thinking, why didn't he go directly to Usagi? But Usagi would have known who he was, right? No, actually she wouldn't. The only person who would have known who he was Chisaya, and he's not here. So he could have approached her directly. Anyways, we find out that he wanted Usagi in the game and that he used the Rolling Demon because the Rolling Demon is so desperate to go to the afterlife that he'll do anything. We saw that. Like, he's just like, yep, whatever. Tell me what to do, and as long as you give me what I want, I'll do it. So yeah, he doesn't care about Usagi. He just wanted to get his ticket to where he thinks he's going, and he found a willing participant in her. And again, the question really is how does the Joker know about Usagi's trauma? That's a question. Maybe it's the shared consciousness thing, but she's only told Arisu about that. So I mean, maybe, oh no, I guess her dad's name was in the paper. We found out in this episode that maybe he read the paper and knew about it, but I feel like it's deeper than that. Maybe the Joker's got some access to things that are a little bit deeper than just word of mouth knowledge. But anyway, we found out that it was a plan, basically. It wasn't just that the Rolling Demon just decided to, invite Usagi it was put in his head because of the Joker. So it was all a plan. Usagi sadly has no idea of that. She just, followed her trauma over her father, and she just hasn't let go of it. And that's why I said in the episode that while Ryuji is trying to make this parallel between him and Usagi, saying, oh, we're the same person, we both we'd rather be with the dead people than or live our lives. And she's like, no. Not exactly. They are similar. I would say they are similar. Like, both of them are stuck at a traumatic event that happened of losing somebody and feeling like there's unfinished business. But the difference is that Usagi, the main reason she can't move on is because, like she says, she can sense that her dad is still there. And I don't think that if she could feel that, which is like I said this in a couple of episodes now, I don't think Usagi's dad is dead. I could be wrong, but they're very much dropping hints that he isn't dead. But maybe he is, and the fact that she just never found the body, never got that resolution as to whether or not he was dead is why she feels like his presence is still out there, because there's a teeny tiny piece of her that wants to keep believing that he's not gone. But yeah, my point is, I think that if she really thought her dad was dead, she would not have cared about what Ryuji was telling. She'd be like, nope, my life is here with Arisu. We've got it good. I'm moving forward. But because this hope is being dangled, and because of the way that the Joker told Ryuji to kind of present it to her, it really just tugged on that little piece of hope that she has, that maybe her dad is not gone. And so that unsolved mystery, that unresolved trauma for her, unfortunately, was just more temptation than she could say no to. And I think the combination of that and the fact that she was remembering what happened from the Borderland, she just wasn't able to she just made a desperate decision is really what I'm going to say. Because I think that if she'd actually taken a minute and said, no, let me think about this, and went and talked to Arisu, I think she would have been able to talk through it, and Arisu would have been able to be like, either Arisu would have been like, okay, wait, let's figure this out and let's go about this a little bit more, let's make sure we're doing this for the right reasons, or he would have made sure he went with her at that time. But either way, we know now that she kind of made a decision in the moment, and especially seeing how it happened, she actually saw her dad again. That's why she just kind of went and said her sorry, and then she ran, right? So I think if she had time to think on it, is my point, she probably wouldn't have been so quick to just take the poison. But anyway, so that's kind of how they got in there, and we see that her and Ryuji have been, traveling together through these games, and of course she cares about him because, she feels like that's her only tie. She doesn't know the rest of these people. And we heard the Joker say that emotional ties were growing between the two of them. Now, I don't think it's on her side as far as outside of caring for his general well-being, but I do see a potential, unfortunately, of Ryuji falling in love with her, because who wouldn't? She's a badass, right? And she's gorge. He doesn't know she's pregnant, obviously, but that's why I said in the episode that it just kind of occurred to me the way that when the Joker said that about their emotional bond, I just thought, if this is gonna be one of those things where Arisu has to sacrifice himself, which it's feeling like it might be. This is just my own thinking, by the way. I know nothing about the end of the show, so please don't spoil me. But this is the kind of show where I just feel like it happily ever after with everybody is not possible. So I'm just like, if it turns out to be that Arisu has to sacrifice himself because he wants to have his baby survive, which I could see, and she ends up getting with the professor, I'm not going to be happy with that. Just saying. I don't like him enough right now for that, but I digress. But yes, we got into Usagi's side of things. Now we know how she got here, the motivation behind Ryuji, and the games that they're playing, and now they're in a new game. And this is this train of death. And yeah, it looks like it's all by chance. And we see that this group kind of somewhat works. Ryuji does have quite a bit of head knowledge, and he's trying to figure out who in the group is useful to help him out. But it's definitely not to the level of Arisu, who kind of is more calculated with things. But anyway, yeah, we got Usagi, who is all guts, right? She's like, I don't know how to calculate all this stuff, but I've got guts. So I'll just go with whatever my gut tells me. And, everyone's following her because she seems so sure. But as we saw towards the end there, maybe that might not be the best gauge anymore. As I was saying, it was always going to be a gamble. I don't think that there was any real science to this. If there was, God knows Arisu would have figured it out. But we're just going to have to see what happens. But again, I'm not worried. We all know that, Usagi is the main character. And they've kind of said now that Ryuji, we heard the Joker say, I've still got use for him. So safe to say, we know those two are going to make it through this game, but how many others are with them? We've only been introduced to 2 other girls that actually have had lines. So lines with the main characters. So I expect that those 4 will make it somehow, some way. Now the real question is, what's it going to take for Arisu and Usagi to get back together? Because this is the first season where they really haven't been together, right? Since season 1, they got together from like episode 2, and they were together from that point forward. So this is very interesting that they're kind of going back, the opposite direction and separating them. But for how long? We only have 3 episodes left, so we'll have to see what happens and what happens when they get back together. How's it gonna fit with this new rolling demon? How's Arisu gonna take that? I'm interested. Can't wait. So yeah, another good episode. I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love, and I'll see you in the next one.